Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Monday, July the 8th, 2013, and here is today's midday market update brought to you by wallstreettrading.com. Hope you guys had a great 4th of July, 4-day weekend, and a lot of you guys probably took Friday off as well. So hope you guys had a good time with your family and friends, but now it's time to get back to the markets. So let's go ahead and break down these charts here real quick. The Dow's up 75, the Nasdaq's up 1.5 points, the Russell 2000's up over a little over 2.5, S&P's up 7.5. Taking a look at different markets here, the bonds, TLT's up $1.03. Commodities are kind of mixed across the board. You have USO, which was down earlier, now pretty much flat. So USO's off crude oil coming off the lows. GLD's up $1.36 today. Gold miners have been showing some weakness today. They've been pretty much flat to down the whole day. GDX, JJC Copper is up 37 cents. Had a nice little breakout on the open. SLV Silver is showing some strength today as well at 21 cents. UUP dollar index is down. FXE, the euro, is up. Taking a look at the oil index, up 13. And then if we take a look at some of the key sectors here this morning that are performing pretty well, you got the utilities at the top of the list from change from open. The XLU's up about 1% from the opening price. Copper showing some strength. The retail stocks are showing some strength today, along with the coal stocks. The coal sectors are showing some strength today. I'm not sure why the coal sector bounced, but it did get a nice little bounce across the board in BTU, WLT. Some of the bottom sectors on the list is SMH. Intel got downgraded this morning, so that's been causing some pressure for the semiconductor stocks. GDX at the bottom of the list, like I said. XLK, that's the technology sector. NASDAQ has been showing some relative weakness compared to the other indices. So let's go ahead and break down the chart, starting off with the SPY. Had a nice little gap up from overnight. I believe we had some good news come out from overseas. Market ran up, hit this 164.40 level on the SPY. Then we've been fading to the downside since. You can draw this nice little downward trend line in right here. We break over, I would say, 164, and we start holding above 164. We could make a nice move back up towards the top side. We take out this 163.60 low, we could continue to fade to the bottom side. On the Nasdaq, a nice little gap up and it's been fading. Nasdaq did not even make a new high after the opening high, so that's how you can know it's the weakest one out there. Russell 2000 opened up, gapped up a little bit, rallied up, made a high, pulled back in, made a little flash lower, hit the double bottom low down there, and broke this little downward trend. So if the Russell could hold above 112 or so on the IWM, this could get a nice little bounce. If you're taking a look at the ES, like we track intraday in our chat room, you can see we had some decent analysis to work off of here for today's session. We saw that the ES S&P 500 futures here were making these lower highs. All right, we recognize a little range here between 1638.5 and 1636.26, and highlighted for short on the break of the 1636 low. Then you had a nice little bear flag that played out right here. Didn't get down to the 1630 target that you would get off this measured move from 1638 to 1634. Minus a 4 from the 1634 to take you to 1630. We stopped about a point and a half in front of that right here at 1631.25. You take a look at the 15-minute chart as well. You can see the overnight range we had here. Resistance overnight was 1632. We broke above that level, rallied up, came back down on the open, flashed down, hit the level, and now we're chopping around the 1632 area again right here at 12:42 in the afternoon. All right, and then a 30-minute chart. All right, you can see it's still maintaining the 1632 area above this rising 50 EMA. So there's some action out there as for going into the open. Going into the rest of the session here. If we don't get back above 1636 or so, at least it's 1636. I think the rallies will continue to get shorted. All right, and then you want to watch this key trend line in there as well. So if we do bounce up there towards the level and you see weakness coming in around here, you could look to try to short that rally. As the market's in a downtrend today, showing some weakness. The financials were strong on the get-go, but they've been fading off the highs. One of the stronger financials out there as well as Fargo, which is still consolidating near the highs of the day. We take a look at some stocks that we mentioned this morning. Let's see, let me bring this up here. Some stocks that we mentioned this morning. Goldman Sachs was one of the stocks we were watching. This one gave you a nice little setup for a short on the break of this little low right here, the pivot lower. If you got it up here on this 153.80. We shorted some 153.48. It flashed down to 153.14. That was a little scalp trade. Not that bad. It was all right. What else? We talked about Amazon on the open. This one took off pretty fast, though, but this was one other stock that's looking pretty strong today. Still hanging up there in the range, flagging on the 30-minute chart. You can see here. I'm sorry, it's the hourly. Flagging on the hourly a bit. 15-minute chart's hanging in there as long as it holds above this 289 area. I would keep an eye on Amazon for a possible continuation move if you have a nice little up move off the open, sideways consolidation. And on the 5-minute chart, you can see it's forming like a little tight little pattern right here, like a little triangle action going on. So keep an eye on Amazon. You guys know we've been talking about the stock for the past 2 weeks or so, and this one's one of the stronger names out there in the market. Back over this little pivot high right here, 290.25 or so, should make it a nice little trigger for a move back up towards the highs. Aside from that, the coal stocks are in play. Again, not sure what the news is in this sector, but WLT is moving. This one's still flagging a bit on the hourly chart. Keep an eye on this one right here. May make a move sometime in the later part of the afternoon. You got BTU as well. This one was making new highs when I checked earlier. Let me see what it's doing right now. BTU. This one looks a little bit cleaner as well, flagging on the 50-minute chart. You can see here. Let me bring up the 50-minute chart, flagging on the 15, so looking pretty decent. And that's about it, guys. Again, if the market bounces off these lows and gets a bounce to the top side, watch Wells Fargo for the banks. Watch some of the retail banks that were strong on Friday, and then watch these coal stocks and watch some of these big cap tech stocks. Aside from that, folks, have a great day. Catch you guys for the After the Bell market summary. Make sure you check out the website, wallstreettrading.com, and contact us if you're interested in trading with our firm or interested in taking our education course. Have a great day, guys. Cheers.